Mo Salah has stated that this could be his last year at Liverpool. And to be fair, what an incredible career it has been. And as a Man United fan, I'd kind of be happy to see the back of him right now. So I thought there's no better time than right now to replay the entire career of Mo Salah, starting from his boyhood club of Al-Mokawloon in Egypt, and see if he can be even better than what he has been in real life. Join us now for another fun video on Mr. Apple's FM. So starting off, I've sent him back to his boyhood club of Al-Mokawloon in Egypt, and he has a current ability of 61 with a potential ability of 187, which it already is in the game. So let's hope he can actually get there. His reputation is pretty low at the moment, so I imagine he'll probably stay in Egypt for a few seasons before he is then scouted by some other big clubs, most likely and hopefully in Europe. So let's see how he gets on. So after the first season, as you can probably imagine, Mo Salah is still at his boyhood club, and in fact he looks like he's done really well. So first season underway, they appear to have a different season starting time to what it usually happens in Europe. He only played 3 games and had 1 goal, but in his second season he really started to find his feet. He had 34 games and 15 goals. If we have a look at his attributes, they are becoming like a pretty solid player at the moment. He is currently up to 113 current ability, so he is looking like he's going to be a fantastic player. This just goes to show that getting game time into young players, if they have that huge ability, is massive for them. Okay, so we're 3 European seasons into this, and Mo Salah has a transfer arranged, and it's to PSG. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be a good thing, because he might be back in the pecking order for a while, especially at his age, but he should have some fantastic youth facilities to progress his talents. But whether or not he'll actually get the game time that he will need once he becomes 18, 19, that kind of age, we will see. But hey, he's got a transfer nonetheless. And it looks like it's only for £650,000, but probably with some add-ons by the look of that. So I imagine that will go up a fair bit once he starts playing some game time. Let's have a look at his stats. So 16 games, 14 goals, 18 games, 12 goals. There is no wonder that this guy's been picked up, because he is just scoring goals for fun at such a young age already. Okay, here we go. So 1 season down at PSG. He has played 3 games for the first team squad, all off the bench by the look of that. Yeah, with a 6.55 average rating, not very good, but he is a mainstay in their second side. So 13 goals from 26 games, 7 assists. He is doing really well. 52 games and 38 goals. That's an extraordinary amount. I've got to do a bit more research into the Egyptian league, I think, because that is a lot of games and a lot of goals that he has scored, which has prepared him really well, I imagine, heading into PSG. So at 18 years of age, he has got 10 caps and 3 goals so far, and because of the amount of game time, he is up to a 142 current ability, which is someone who would be a starter for, say, like a lower Premier League or a lower Liga kind of side, especially up front or on the wings. Probably not someone who's going to be starting at PSG. You'd want to be probably 170 at least to be able to start for PSG. Okay, end of the 5th season now, and Mo Salah is starting to get a bit more game time, which is good to see. So he's had 15 appearances and 5 goals. So looking like it's more towards the end of the season, as he did have 15 appearances and 9 goals for PSG too before that. And unsurprisingly, PSG are Ligue Un winners. Kylian Mbappe is still there in this version of the game, because I don't have the loaded transfers from the current season in this version of it. Okay, so PSG did actually beat Lille in the French Cup final, and Mo Salah came on in the 80th minute, so he didn't get a great amount of game time, but he still got a 7.1 average rating nonetheless, so that's pretty good for him, and he is another trophy winner. Looking like a really good season this one in season number 6, playing for PSG. 18 starts, 10 off the bench, 12 goals, 3 assists, 7.53 average rating. Let's see how PSG actually did in Liga. Again, oh my goodness gracious me. They have won by 28 points in the league. That's ridiculous. It's good to see that Mo Salah got a 7.53 rating, as I said earlier, and that got him in 4th place for the highest average rating in the league. And all 3 players ahead of him were PSG players. Another French Cup final and another win for PSG against Lille, and this time Mo Salah actually started. He came off at halftime for Abdul Fatawu. That's not great, but he got a 7.3 rating for the game, so not sure what's actually happened there. He's only played a half of football, but still did pretty well. In the Champions League, PSG actually got knocked out by Bayer Leverkusen, and Mo Salah did play, came on in the 74th minute, and Bayer Leverkusen actually went on to win the Champions League in this season, in the 6th season of Football Manager. We'll be right back to the action in just a sec, but in the meantime, please hit that subscribe button to help me on my quest to reach 500 subscribers before FM24 comes out. That quest is made slightly easier with the news that it probably won't come out until November 2025, but leave a comment down below to let me know what you are most excited about in the new game, and of course, hit that like button so this video gets sent out to someone new. Subscribe to Mr. Apple's FM, and let's get back to the video. He just goes from strength to strength right now. So 27 games, not playing every single game. He might have had a few injuries, but he scored 14 goals with 3 assists, 7 player of the match awards, 7.88 average rating is insane. In fact, he topped the league for the average rating for the season with 2 other PSG players just behind him, and then Marcus Edwards in the French league. They're playing for Monaco. So they have won the league by 13 points this time, not quite as big as previous seasons, but they have won the French Cup final, and once again it is against Lille. And once again, Mo Salah has started the game but come off, and this time he came off in the 75th minute with a really good average rating of 7.3 for the game. Mbappe and Musiala scoring the goals for PSG. He's not getting goals in finals at the moment. We would like to see that so I can show you some of his highlights, but he is still getting some awards. And he's got another trophy, and it is the Champions League, as PSG have beaten Real Madrid in the final, and it's Brian Brobby who has scored in extra time. So Mo Salah did start the game, came off in the 66th minute, 7.1 rating, so did okay. And then came off for Abdul Fatawu again. But Brian Brobby came on in the 57th minute, got himself injured in the process, and then went on and scored the winner for PSG for their first ever Champions League trophy. Looking like another cracking season for Mo Salah in season number 8 for him, as he is just 22 years old. He is wanted at the moment, and that is by Napoli, so I don't think he's going to be making a move considering his value is 142 to 425 million pounds. I don't think Napoli will have quite the cash to be able to stump up to afford him. But he gets 16 goals, 10 assists, 11 player of the match awards in Liga this year, 8.06 average rating. That is phenomenal. And would you believe it, PSG have won the league again. Of course you would believe it, because it is PSG and they run away with it with almost every single season. 24 points ahead of Lille, 1 loss to Strasbourg, 1 draw to Lyon, winning every single other game. Mo Salah, 8.06 average rating, the highest in the league once again. 16 goals, that is the 3rd highest in the league this season. 11 player of the match awards, that is the highest in the league. And 10 assists, that is the 3rd highest in the league. This guy has had a phenomenal season. PSG actually got knocked out in the 11th round of the French Cup, so too far back for me to even view the game, which is very, very strange. They couldn't retain their trophy that they won for a number of years in a row. But could they do it in the Champions League? Yes, of course they can. 2-1 win at the Olympic Athletic Centre of Athens, of course, in Greece, against Man City. So that is a fantastic effort. Abdul Fatawu getting a goal in the 89th minute. Mo Salah played the majority of the game. 7.5 rating for him, played 79th minute. And of course, it was Fatawu who came on for him, who ended up scoring the winner. So that seems to be a pretty common swap for the PSG side. So that is now 5 Liga titles, 4 French Cup titles, and 2 Champions League winners. This has been a phenomenal career so far for Mo Salah, and the guy is only 22 years of age. He didn't quite get the Ballon d'Or this season. He finished second to Rodrigo, who broke a streak of 5 out of the previous 6 from Kylian Mbappe. Interesting that considering Mo Salah and his PSG side actually won the Champions League ahead of Rodrigo and his Real Madrid side. And Mo Salah had a slightly better average rating, but more goals to Rodrigo. So I'm sure Mo Salah will be able to get something very soon. Mo Salah, of course, is up to his potential ability, and his current ability being the same at 187, so he has maxed out fantastically. He has not had quite as good a season by the looks of things. Perhaps he was playing a bit of a different spot, because he's still got a great average rating of 7.89, but he's only played 23 games for 9 goals, 4 assists, 6 Player of the Match awards. Unsurprisingly, PSG won again, 14 points ahead of Monaco this time. Mo Salah did top the average rating and was second in the Player of the Match awards, so he still had a fantastic season even though he missed 11 games in the league. But of course, PSG had won the previous 2 Champions Leagues, and could they win 3 in a row? They absolutely can. At the Stade de France, unbelievable for the PSG side. They have won 3-0 against Napoli, who, of course, were not able to buy our man Mo Salah. Kylian Mbappe with a goal in the first half, Musiala with a goal in either half, to get them over the line against the Italian side. Mo Salah had a 7.8 average rating for the game and came off in the 83rd minute. I imagine to a rapturous applause from the French crowd, because again, he has won the Champions League with his PSG side. And not only that, he has won the Ballon d'Or. He has finished ahead of Jude Bellingham and Kylian Mbappe to win the award for the season. 45 games, 26 goals, 11 assists, 7.96 average rating. Congratulations, Mo Salah. You have won the Ballon d'Or, which is something he has not done in real life, of course, but this is a fantastic achievement for our man. This has been an outstanding season for Mo Salah. 31 games, 19 goals, 9 assists, 11 Player of the Match awards in the league, 8.05 average rating. What a season this has been. So if we go to the league table, they have won by 20 points. He has topped the goals, the Player of the Match awards, and the average rating for the league for this season. But one of the main things we need to see is, can PSG make it 4 in a row in the Champions League? They absolutely can, with a win against Real Madrid on penalties, 2-2 in regular time. Xavi Simons getting a double for PSG, but our man didn't actually take a penalty, so he was subbed off once again. 66th minute this time. it was Abdul Fattawi that was subbed on for him once again. This is ridiculous how often this is happening, but obviously a move that the PSG management love to do, and it is working because they have won 4 Champions Leagues in a row. And having won the Ballon d'Or last season and then winning the Champions League this season, topping everything in France with over an 8 average rating, surely our boy has won the Ballon d'Or again. No, he hasn't. Jude Bellingham has won the Ballon d'Or, followed by Lautaro Martinez and then Gabriel Martinelli in 3rd place. I don't know how that has happened. Season number 11, and yet another fantastic season for Mo Salah. In fact, it's his best goal output for PSG with 21 goals in only 28 games. So again, still not able to play a full season. Unsurprisingly, PSG won the league again, this time by 17 points. Mo Salah once again topping the goals, the average rating, and the Player of the Match awards for the league. And finally, they have won the French Cup back once again. After not winning it the last maybe 3 or 4 seasons, Mo Salah was not playing, unfortunately, so he does not get a winner's medal for the French Cup this season. And in the Champions League, all 4 teams in the semi-final were English teams, with Chelsea playing Newcastle and Arsenal playing Man City, and then Arsenal going on to beat Chelsea in the final, so PSG did not win the Champions League this season. And yet, Mo Salah wins the Ballon d'Or. So ahead of Dejan Kulusevski and Pedro Sabina Flores, who is a new-gen player. Not quite as good a season as last year overall, but he has won the Ballon d'Or when he didn't even finish in the top 3 last year. But we'll take it. That's number 2 for Mo Salah. Okay, Mo Salah has dropped back a little bit in his output this season in terms of goals. So he's got 14 goals, but he has increased up to 10 assists for the season. And it's his best output for Player of the Match awards with 14, and his best average rating in the league as well with 8.08. So clearly that must mean PSG won by an absolute mile once again. 24 points, only the one loss, but quite a few draws this season. So obviously he didn't top the league in goals scored, but he did for average rating and Player of the Match awards and came second for assists for the season. Okay, let's see how they've done in the Champions League for this season. And they've lost in the final 1-0 to Real Madrid. Alright, so a goal in the 87th minute by Sebastião. Must be another really good regen player that Real Madrid have. Mo Salah only played 61 minutes in this game and had an absolute shocker with a 6.3 average rating for the season. Let's see if he's won anything awards-wise as well. And he has won the Ballon d'Or for this season. So he's finished ahead of Bukayo Saka and Vinicius Jr. for winning the Ballon d'Or. So that is his third in the past 4 seasons. What a fantastic effort despite losing the Champions League. So his 42 appearances, 26 goals, 8 assists, 7.87 average rating has got him another award. On to season number 13, and our man is 27 years of age now, really into the prime of his career. He went a little bit backwards in all of the categories this year, so only 12 goals, 5 assists, and 7 Player of the Match awards. Average rating down to 7.76, which of course is a phenomenal average rating, but obviously is a fair bit lower than what it was last year. And PSG finished 16 points clear of Monaco this season. So he didn't actually finish on top of any of the categories this year, second in the average rating for the league, and third for Player of the Match awards. So yeah, as I said before, not his best year, but still an incredible year. And PSG actually lost the French Cup final this year in extra time to Monaco. Xavi Simons scored in the 77th minute to equalise, but Mikey Moore, the English prodigy, scored in the 99th minute in extra time for Monaco to beat PSG for the French Cup. But let's see if they can avenge their loss in the Champions League final from last year. Can they win it this season? You betcha. And it is our man Mo Salah who has scored in the 17th minute. And he played a full game this time. So that is fantastic. 7.5 average rating. Warren Zaire-Emery getting the Player of the Match award for his assist for the goal for Mo Salah. But a fantastic achievement for him. That is 5 Champions League trophies that Mo Salah has won for PSG. Okay, 14 seasons in now and 27 games, 10 goals, 7 assists, 8 Player of the Match awards for our man Mo Salah. A little bit better than last year. Goals are going down, unfortunately. They've actually been on a fair bit of a trend downwards in the last few seasons, but he's still scoring a decent amount. And PSG are still winning the league every single season. So I guess in the end, it's been a great choice for him to go to PSG because he's won so many league trophies. He's won the Champions League on 5 occasions, and he's won the French Cup on 4 occasions as well. PSG unfortunately couldn't make it another Champions League trophy as they got knocked out by Bayern 1-0 in the round of 16. So that's not a great effort from them. He did have a 7.75 average rating in the Champions League, which is the 3rd best overall. We'll check out the Ballon d'Or, and it is all new gen players getting it in the top 3 for this season. That Pedro Sabino Forles that we saw before looks like he's become an incredible player. Mo Salah did have a 2nd place last season, and of course he won it the previous 2, so he has won 3 overall. I just want to check out this fella, Sabino Forles from Real Madrid, and he looks insane. 19 crossing, incredible pace, incredible first touch. Looks like he plays as a right winger the majority of the time. Looks like he just gets lots of everything, lots of goals, assists, Player of the Match awards. They bought him from Benfica for £83 million. Let's go back to our man Mo Salah. And he is actually going on a free transfer at the end of this season, so hasn't signed for someone by the look of that, so we will probably see him with a different club come the end of next season. And if you're going to leave PSG, why not go to Real Madrid? So he's had a season where he's had 29 games, 12 goals, 5 assists, 7 Player of the Match awards for them. Have they won La Liga? Yes, they have by 8 points. And he has topped the average rating and the Player of the Match awards. So really good choice for him to go to Real Madrid. Can they do anything else? Say, for example, can they win the Copa del Rey or even the Champions League? Well, they can win the Copa del Rey because they have beaten Real Betis in the final, and it is our man Mo Salah getting a goal in the 62nd minute, and that man we saw before, Pedro Sabino Follows, getting a goal in the 10th minute to win the game. But they cannot win the Champions League as they get knocked out by the adventure winners, Arsenal, 4-3 overall after leading the first leg 2-1. So they won the first leg 2-1, they lose the second leg 3-1, and they are knocked out in the quarterfinals. End of his 16th season now, and just have a look at this player. He is looking incredible. And we'll go into his career stats. So he's had a fantastic season, 15 goals, 10 assists, 16 Player of the Match awards. That is phenomenal. And they have won the league by 10 points, with Mo Salah leading the league for average rating as well as Player of the Match awards. This has been another fantastic season for our man. But unfortunately, it is another runners-up medal in the Champions League for Mo Salah as his Real Madrid side lose 2-1 to Chelsea. He's actually playing as the advanced forward up front by himself for the side. He did play the full game with a 7.1 average rating, but it was not enough for Real Madrid to get over the line, with 2 goals scored by Darmid Carter and Javier scored for Real Madrid. I imagine both of those are probably new gen players. This guy looks incredible. 41 goals already in 65 games. Yeah, he looks fantastic. And it's a second place in the Ballon d'Or for Mo Salah. So this time he's behind a PSG player called Sergio. So that's quite funny to see that. And an Australian player getting third place, Alessio Conti. Let's have a look at... hey, he looks incredible. Probably the greatest player Australia has ever seen. Sorry, Tim Cahill. But I think this guy will beat you out with that award. But fantastic from Mo Salah to get himself second place in the Ballon d'Or. Couldn't add to his total of 3 actual wins, but he is doing really, really well. Okay, in his second last season in this career replay, to get him up to the age that he is in real life, it looks like he has had another phenomenal season with 23 goals and 19 Player of the Match awards. Over 8 again for his average rating. He has just been fantastic since being made the lone striker for Real Madrid. They have won the league by 5 points. He's come second for goals in the league, but first in average rating, and absolutely wiped the floor with the entire league for Player of the Match awards. But since coming to Real Madrid, he has not had much success in the Champions League, as they have been knocked out in the round of 16 to Milan, who ended up being the winners. So it seems like when they do get knocked out, it is by the team that goes on to win the Champions League, but they got knocked out 4-3 overall in the round of 16. And unfortunately couldn't do anything in the Ballon d'Or, as the players are all newly generated players that have got in the awards for this season. So looks like he probably won't add to his 3 that he's already got. Okay, so this is the final season that will do for his career replay to get him up to the age that he is. So let's have a look at and see how he's done for Real Madrid. 18 goals, 13 Player of the Match awards. Not quite as good as last year, though he does have a few more assists. We're saying not quite as good when the guy's getting a 7.9 average rating. So he has been incredible the entire way through this. But Real Madrid have fallen in a heap. They are 18 points behind Barcelona for the La Liga trophy. But Mo Salah did what he could with the most Player of the Match awards and the highest average rating for the league. And it's more heartbreak for Salah and his team as they lose the Spanish Cup final, or the Copa del Rey final, 2-1. And Mo Salah wasn't actually playing up front. He was playing out on the right wing for this one. Did have a fantastic game by the look of it with a 7.7 average rating, but it wasn't enough as Atletico scored in the second half to beat Real Madrid 2-1. Now, can he finish off with a Champions League trophy? No, he absolutely cannot, as Real Madrid lose 1-0 on aggregate in the round of 16 to Chelsea, and they are knocked out once again way too early for a club like that, and he has not added to his Champions League trophies. So when we compare it to real life, obviously he's won way more in our simulation than he has done in real life. So he has won 3 Ballon d'Ors. He has won 11 Liga titles with PSG. He's won 3 La Liga titles. He has won 1 Copa del Rey, 5 French Cups. He's won 5 Champions League trophies, and he won the African Nations Cup with Egypt as well. So he has had a phenomenal career through this career rebuild. If you'd like to see more things like this, please hit that like button and leave a comment down below if there's any other players you'd like to see have their career replayed. And of course, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future content like this from Mr. Apples FM. And of course, the most important thing is have yourself a wonderful day.